Hello, crafty friends. Creative Juice by Lonnie here with you to share a once in a lifetime opportunity for graduating seniors in 2025. We have an opportunity that won't come around again for a little while. Let me explain. And then I will show you also what we are going to make today. So this is our cute little window card, and the reason that it's just so ideal right now is because you can gift some cash that actually spells out the graduating year. So you could have two 20s and a 5, or you could have a 20 and a $2 bill and a 5, but those all spell 2025. Isn't that adorable? I think it's a wonderful opportunity. So depending on how much you wanted to gift, you could gift $45 or you could gift $27 depending on how you would like to do this. So I'm going to show you how to make this cute little window gift card that you could give to a graduating senior. Now, I used some of my old black glimmer paper to create these fun things, but since we don't currently have black glimmer paper, maybe you've got some saved in your stash. I'm going to use some red glimmer paper because I know we do have some of the festive glimmer paper still available in my Stampin' Store here at creativejuicebylonnie.com that has some cherry cobbler, some garden green, and maybe some other kind. But we also have our in colors for 2020. I'm thinking 2022, 2020, no, 2024 to 2026. So those are Shy Shamrock, Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop. But you just go to Creative Juice by Lonnie, click on Shop 24/7, search for glimmer paper, and you'll find it, okay? So let me tell you what you're going to need, and I'm actually going to show you how to cut and prepare, or at least cut the card base for 2 of the cards at the same time. Because once you make one card, you might need another card. We are using today the birthday celebration bundle. All of these products will also be live later today on my Creative Juice by Lonnie website on a blog post that you can just click on and add to your cart if you would like to. So this birthday celebrations bundle is $41.25. It includes all of these photopolymer stamps as well as these dies. And we're going to use a couple of these dies. We're going to use this one. I've already cut out part of the 2025, but I've cut out some tassels. We'll get there as we go along. Let's do some of the cutting because it's almost easier to do the cutting for this first and then assemble it all together at the end. One of the things you will want to use is some of our adhesive sheets. The adhesive sheets will make this so much easier to put together. So I've got a little piece right here that I'm going to add to the back of a scrap of paper. So this one is real red paper. Then on the back side of my adhesive sheet, I just drew with a Sharpie here. So I knew that there was some adhesive sheets on the piece that I was cutting, and I'd need to remove it and would have all of the glue prepared. So let's cut these out. We're going to cut out this piece first. This is going to be part of our banner, so I'm just going to cut it out the long banner piece on my small mini cut and emboss machine. And you want to cut it from the top, from whatever piece, whatever side you want to show. So I'm cutting it from the top. There's my little banner section. You can take your pick tool or the pointy ends of your scissors to get those out. So I have that piece now. I'll set it off to the side. I've already put my adhesive sheet on the back of the glimmer paper. Oh man, okay, get my tractor started today. So I'm going to cut out a banner and another 2 since I had to cut out two of them. One of the things that I thought was so perfect about this stamp set, this birthday celebration stamp set for a graduation card, is that it has the tassels. and it has the numbers. So it's perfect for this one. So hello, Carlene. Good to see your name and to visualize your face here. All right, so I've cut out. I have all of the pieces now. I have 3 little banners. I have the numbers. I'm setting things aside here so I don't get them in the way. So I have the year, our graduating year, 2025. 3 little banners. All of my letters cut out. My banner piece that holds the banner right here. I have some silver, I use silver foil sheets and of course the adhesive sheets on the back to cut out 3 tassels. So I have 3 and 3 of each of those. Let's start doing a little bit of cutting for our card. So as I told you, I'm going to show you how to cut for 2 of these, but you could cut for just 1 by cutting this 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock in half the long way at 4 1/4. But if you are making more than 1 graduation card or want to use this for a different event, then you can go ahead and cut and score at the same time. So we're going to take our long side and put it at the top of our trimmer. We're going to score this at 1 1/2 and 7. So move your cutting blade out of the way and do. So I'm scoring at 1 1/2 and then at 7. Oh, whoops, don't do that. That's why I'm doing 2 of them. Use your scoring blade. And then we're going to cut it at 9. And apparently I'm going to have to throw that other half away. Gee, we're going to cut this at 9. Okay, then you can turn it this way and cut it at 4 1/4. There we go. Then you're going to need, so if you had done this with just a 4 1/4, you'd have this extra piece, but I'm going to cut this one also at 4 1/4. So you'll have a 2-inch piece that was left over. So this makes it the full 11 inches right here. So we've scored at 1 1/2, 7, we cut off at 9. 1 1/2, 7, cut off at 9. So let's fold our cards together. We're going to fold both of the flaps in like this. And then you have this extra piece in just a moment that we will use. Then you'll need a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of contrasting cardstock. I'm using red since I'm doing red and black. It seems like all of the schools around here are Utah Tech, Hurricane High School, what else? Crimson Cliffs. They all seem to be red and black. So we're doing lots of red and black, but you could do this in whatever color you would like. I'm going to do a little bit of embossing at the top of my insert. This is the part that says "Hooray for You." So I've got these stamps from the birthday celebration bundle. We'll stamp. I used this is the embossing buddy so that you don't get extra flecks of embossing powder on your project. So I'm stamping in Versamark, which is a watermark color, but it stays wet for a moment. We'll bring in our, all of these pieces are part of the embossing essentials. This is called the embossing essentials. I don't know. It will be on the embossing editions kit. So you've got your little tray right here. You could also do, oh, that's nice. Look at that. I kind of have a double. I must have dropped my stamp right before I put it down, but it's okay. I'm going to use this just to kind of wipe off a little bit of that. Okay, I think we're good enough to go. No mistakes. There's always 2 sides to your paper. Turn it over if you need to, which I did on one of them already. Well, hello, Inika. Glad to see you here today, too. Okay, so we're going to heat it up and make this nice and dark. And very fancy when you have some embossing, so it makes it feel like a real celebration for a graduate. We'll be able to see your embossing powder melt, become shiny, and then you'll know that it's all embossed. A little piece down here that we need to emboss. Okay, we've got that already. Ready to go. You could also just stamp that in black, but I just like the added elegance of a little bit of heat embossing. Okay, let's put this on the inside of our card and we are ready to put it all together. This will be the part that is on the inside. You'll want the 1.5 piece at the bottom, 1.5 flap, and the other piece at the top, whatever size that was. That's where we scored it at 7. So we've got our insert here ready to go. Then we'll use our tear and tape. Tear and tape is very strong adhesive, and we'll put it just along the edge there of our flap. You can even go up a little bit if you want to onto the card. We just don't want to go too far because we don't want to see that adhesive or have it sticking to the top. So here we go. This becomes the pocket that your money goes in. And if you are just tuning in, you'll definitely want to stick around to see why 2025 is the best year to give cash. Okay, so we'll bring that up, give it a good push to kind of make sure it's nice and tight and stays in there. Then we're going to add a little bit of tear and tape as well, some adhesive right here on the top flap. And then on this piece, we'll put it on one end too. One side, I should say. Okay, then you will need a 3" by 4¼ window sheet. And these are hard to see because they're invisible in the catalog or online. And remember that if you did get one of my new catalogs, while I'm thinking about it, in that case, everything is not in the catalog anymore. You have to kind of change the way that you think. We have so much more now online than we have just in the catalog. So don't just shop from the catalog. Go to the website, check everything out. If you're looking for birthdays, you can put in birthday, or you can put in graduation, or you can just look to see what's new. I always like to go to the what's new section because then you'll see all of the new things. So this little piece is 3" by 4¼ inches. You can get two 12 by 12 sheets of these window sheets for $5. There's the number 142314 on my website. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this on the front of, we're going to lay this window sheet so that it kind of overlaps by about 1/2 inch right down here on our pocket that we just created. Then you can take off the top adhesive and just fold it over. And then do the same for this, and it's going to go on the bottom. So I'm going to take this sheet off and then flip it over so that the adhesive is actually at the top of this section. Line it up with the bottom so that it just creates that flap of your card and a window. Now, we've got this ugly piece right here. Look, we don't want to see this when we open up the card. So just take yourself two 1" by 4¼ pieces of the coordinating cardstock, or it could be a contrasting cardstock. It could be white, it could be whatever you would like it to be, but I'm going to do red. And what I've done here, I just take this one and kind of look through the front window so that I've got, can you see I've just got a little bit of a red peeking through. If there's a little extra, just cut it off. Oh, my scissors don't want to cut today, or maybe it's just me. All right, so you've got a little bit of red peeking through right like that. Same thing on this side. And then that really does cover up. I'll just turn it over and so you can see the inside. Just a moment. Oh, come on. So it just kind of gives you like about 1/4 inch of a peek at that red. Okay, so that kind of gives you this little window right like that. What do you think? So there's your window. There's hooray for you. Here's our little pocket. Let's decorate the front, and we're almost done. Now, because we put all of our adhesive sheets on the back, this will be put together so quickly. Just peel off the adhesive sheet on the back, I'm going to put this so that it comes to about the center of this of the left side and then goes up to not quite the corner here. We can cut off the edges of the banner if it extends beyond the. So you've got your banner piece ready. Let's add I'm going to start with the tassels. Perfect for a graduation. So we'll go tassel, banner, tassel, banner. And if you go pretty close, then you'll get all 6 of these on here. There we go. It just feels so festive. And we have a bunch of kids in our neighborhood who are graduating. We've been getting all sorts of fun graduation announcements. So I'm sure I'll be using these. I may not do the $45. I might do the $27, depending on how many that we get. Now that hopefully their mothers aren't like, hey, you need to send that to Mrs. Bentley. Now, if it comes off the edge, don't worry too much if it comes off just a little bit, because it'll still fit into a card or an envelope rather, but you may just have to fold it a little bit differently, or you can cut it off if you would like to cut it off. But there's your pretty tassels with the silver foil paper and the glimmer paper. Then I like to start when I'm doing my numbers, since I know there's 4 of them. If you use your grid paper, you can do it however you would like. I'm just going to kind of line it up here. I know that it's 4 1/4 across here. So right here at about the halfway point, I'm going to put the 0 on one side of the line. So this is 1, 2, and then right here would be 1/4. So that's about the middle right there, even if it's close enough. I'm going to do 0 and 2, and then we can add the other 2 and 5. Oh, getting them sometimes off getting the adhesive sheet off these little tiny dies, but you can see why this bundle is the perfect one for it, because it includes the numbers and the tassels and the banners. Okay, seriously, there we go. I was like, I have not had that much struggle today. I made 3 of these cards already. So there's part of our 20 and part of 25. Let's hope our next 2 is easier than the last 2. Yeah, there we go. So you've got 20, 20, 5, all right, so there is your pretty glimmer paper. I should turn off my overhead light. Maybe that would help us to get it to see this, how pretty this is. Here it is in the red and black version. And here, if you have just joining me, is why it's such a great thing. So you can get your cash, and I have a 20, a 20, and a 5. So you want to kind of lay them out. You could also use a 2 right here if you wanted to do a $2 bill. I don't know if they do the same in euros or not. So Inika, I don't know. You'd have to tell me if they have this. But for this one, I can do $45 or 25 plus 2 is $27. So I just kind of took them and folded it. You may have to fold this piece back in the back just so that it fits inside your pocket, just perfectly like that. And then when you close the window, you can see 2025. Now, if you were doing this version and you had used black for the inside, you could use a silver Sharpie or a white chalk marker on the inside. You could also just tuck in a little card, a little tiny card with a message on it behind your money. But isn't that just a fun way? So let's try it. Let's put our 2025 in this one and see how it looks. Oh, just as cute. Imagine that. Just as cute. Isn't that? Oh, I am glad. Inika says she loves the card. Let's see if I can get that. There you go. And that is just a fun way to do a little bit of graduation for 2025. I was trying to think about the next year that we might be able to do this. because we don't have anything that has threes on it. And there's nothing with a seven. So really, about the next time we could do it would be 2050. So in another 25 years. I did actually do something similar. I did a slimline card, not without a window. In 2020, we did this, and you could give $40. I guess in 5 years we have at least a $5, cost of living increase. So I did do a similar one about 5 years ago, but in this case, we have that. So in okay, you have fives, tens, 20s, 50s. So see, again, you can do it this year. You can do a 2025 gift, but then we won't be able to do cash quite like this. I mean, you can always give cash, but for it to also line up with the same year that they're graduating, it may not be um, until 2050. So, this is your chance to have this opportunity. How many graduating people do you know this year? Do you know any of them? I have a niece, and of course, all of our little neighbor kids. So, of course, you saw me make my niece a card already, but I may still have to use one of these for her to give her a little bit of cash as well. My sister and I were talking about which graduation gifts we remembered, and she said that back in the 80s, 90s, I guess she did graduate in the 80s as well. She was so excited when somebody gave her cash because that's really what, they need. Now, do they spend it wisely? Probably not, but that's part of being it's part of being a teenager, or maybe even this would be great for a college senior as well. All right. Okay. Isn't that weird that we can't use cash in store? I mean, it's legal tender. Sometimes there's places that don't take cash in the United States too. And I'm like, hello, it says that you have to legally accept this as a valid tender. That's what it says. Okay, so there is our cute things, our cute cards, window cards. If you love this, share this with a friend. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you're like, oh yes, now I know what to do. I will put all of this information on my blog post today at creativejuicebylani.com, right there. And if you if you shop from there, you'll also get a thank you card from me, as well as if you spend over $50, you'll also get a email with lots of other tutorials that you can print off and try. Alrighty, so there you go. Happy 2025 graduation. We'll see you next week right here on Creative Juice by Lonnie on Facebook and YouTube. I love to hear what you think. Thanks for your comments as well. See you then.